So what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be going through all of the archive cutscenes, and I'm going to be tier listing them. And this tier list is kind of just going to be based on how well it's done and how much the cutscenes relate to like the killer or survivors in question, and their backstory and their lore, and if it kind of displays like a very important part of their history in the cutscene, or if it's some kind of like, you know, just irrelevant scene. So that's what we're going to be doing today, and I know that I've explored killer and survivor backstories in the past in previous videos, so you can definitely feel free to check those out as well. But when I was going through the tome, you know, there's a ton of memories and history there. Obviously, we can't cover everything today in this video, so I'm just going to be doing the cutscenes, but, you know, if the memories relate, I'll definitely mention those a little bit. So let's start with Tome 1. And the first cutscene in Tome 1 is actually related to the Alchemist, and the Blight was not out in the game at the time that this tome was initially released. But this is so clearly about the Blight. Like, it talks about the serum, and it talks about kind of his moral like crisis that he has. So let's just go ahead and watch this video. There's the serum with the plant. I kind of feel like this is a representation of like his moral crisis. Whoa. Yeah, that was pretty intense. And I kind of do like how it kind of escalated to the point and he had the serum out and he was thinking about, should I actually use this on myself right now? And then he just used it to kind of try to escape whatever was going on around him. So I actually really like this one. Like, it illustrated the memories and stuff pretty well. It's very relevant to Blight, even though Blight didn't exist at the time. I'm not going to put it in S, but I feel like that was definitely like an A tier level cutscene. It built a lot of suspense and it was escalating, and, you know, you kind of like felt how Blight was feeling, I feel like. Let's watch the next one, which is Claudette. She's good at school. That must be that science kit. So cute. Yeah, so if you guys remember in Claudette's lore, she gets a science kit for her birthday, and that kind of is what kickstarts her whole interest in, you know, science related stuff, and that totally relates to her perks and everything too, with botany knowledge and everything. So the one thing I really like about Claudette's scene is that it very clearly correlates to her backstory. Like, I don't even have to necessarily go through the Claudette memories to understand like what part of her life that scene is from and how it relates to like how she turned out. So for that reason, I'm gonna put it in S tier. And it was cute. Okay, so the next one is Evan McMillan. So this is actually Trapper. So working in the mines with his dad. I guess he sees his dad is beating people up. What was the meaning of that ending there? Maybe there it's kind of just like showing that it's his dad. But anyways, I actually do really like this cutscene because it's basically like an illustration of Trapper's story. Like how he, you know, worked in the mines with his dad, and he very clearly saw that his dad was abusive to the workers and his dad was also abusive to him. I feel like it was a very good video representation of the backstory, like in a very shortened form. So for that reason, I think I'm gonna put it in A, just because like the ending was a little bit unclear to me. Like, if you guys know what that meant, let me know in the comments, but I think it was just trying to like reiterate with the picture frame that that was his dad, but I'm not entirely sure like why he was like looking at the frame in shock. Like, I don't really know about that part.
Oh my God, what is that? Oh my God! What is that?
But it's a very good representation of his story, so I'm definitely gonna put him in A. So the next one is actually related to the Observer, who's kind of this character in DBD that, you know, it's not like an actual part of the game, but it's just someone that's there and they have like lore throughout the game. So just the short answer is the Observer is a character in DBD and they live in a sub-realm that's shielded from the entity, and he is the narrator of all Tome entries found in the archives. So they've often been shown as like a researcher of the entity and looking over the DBD realm. So I find this really interesting. So some of these like cutscenes I feel like probably bring to light a little bit more of the Observer's point of view. So let's watch this one. There's the archive classic scene. Nice. Could go for a drink right now. For a second, I thought it was showing that the book is missing and he's like holding it in his hand like he's like some old man. Okay, that's not what it was showing, obviously, but this is kind of cool. You know, it kind of shows, it kind of introduces the Observer character, I feel like, by showing that, you know, he can see everyone and see their stories and stuff. And another interesting thing about the Observer is that they're basically always trying to escape this realm and help all the survivors escape. And they're trying to do research to figure out how to kind of destroy the entity. At least that's what the memories makes it sound like. I do like this one, but I don't like it as much as the others. I mean, I like that it introduces the character, but it doesn't really show very much about, like, it doesn't really show any emotion at all. And it doesn't really explain the missing book thing. So for that reason, I'm gonna put him in like C. Like it wasn't that good of a cutscene, but I do like how it introduced the character. So for that reason, I'm not gonna put it in D. All right, so that brings us to the end of Tome 1. Now for Tome 2. So the first video in Tome 2 is about Jane. Is this the night that she like drives off and crashes? Oh no, this is different. Quick talk. So this is actually perfect because if you guys remember Jane's backstory, she was actually working for a variety show for a bit, but she was eventually fired by the show's executives because they didn't really, think she was a good fit for that. And then she was really, really desperate. And then she eventually got a phone call from a producer and they wanted her to come on to Quick Talk. And that's kind of like the scene that's being shown in this archive cutscene. So because it's like so perfect for her backstory, and I can directly like relate it to her backstory, I'm gonna put it in S. Because it's really well done. And another thing that I really like about this particular cutscene is that you can really see Jane's emotion in this. Like, you can tell when she's really desperate and when she's really frustrated and, kind of hyping herself up to go on the show. And, like you can see her emotions. So the next cutscene in this is David. Fighting, of course. The sound. And the sound effects are just killing me right now.
Whoa.
Okay. So, I mean, that one was very good for David in terms of the fighting. Because, it was clear that he was really into, getting into fights. He was a very, like, hot-headed personality. I'm trying to think exactly, like, what scene this relates to. So, after looking at the memories, I think this particular fight is between David and this ghetto masher person. So previously David had lost a fight against the masher and he was like really upset about that. But then the next time that he sees Masher going after someone, he like decides to fight him again, and this time he wins. And then he gains the respect of some people and he starts working for some people after winning this fight. So I think that's the scene that it's showing. I do like this scene because you can tell that it's very fitting for David. But at the same time, like this particular event is one of the memories. Like it's not actually like particularly any part of his backstory. So I had to definitely look into it a little bit more to pinpoint what exactly this scene is from. I'm gonna put it in B because it is like fitting for David, but it doesn't really invoke that much emotion. Like it's just like a fight, and it has like a little bit of a positive note at the end. But I don't know. It's just like more like feels like a random fighting scene. Like I feel like it would have been cool if they kind of had a cutscene of him, like his slow decline, because he used to be like really, smart and popular, and then he started getting into fights and like losing friends and stuff. So I feel like showing that aspect of his life would have been a little bit better for the cutscene. So now we have a cutscene for Herman Carter, which is the doctor. Oh my god.
Hey! Huh?
Well. Whoa. He's signing to work for them? Oh my god. What the heck? This is so... Oh my god, this is so freaking disturbing. What the heck? Oh my... I haven't watched this one before. Oh my god. Oh my god, that's so good. I love this one. It was so graphic. Like, I mean, I don't like that, but I like that in the sense that it's like so perfect for him. So that was really good because it kind of did a good job of showing how Herman already kind of had a really evil streak of torturing people. And then if I recall correctly, like he was basically recruited by the CIA to do experimentation on medical patients at Larry's Memorial Institute. And, you know, eventually he did get out of control and actually killed the doctor himself who initially recruited him and mentored him. I mean, there's no question that is going in S, like, and especially that little edit at the end there where you could just see him like transforming into the doctor and like doing the laugh. Like that was so good. So the next one on this list is, this is Rin Yamoka. So this is the spirit. She's heading home. She's getting bullied. Oh my god. It's like Oni. Oni rage. So she kind of loses it and fights back with the like rage of her ancestors, like Oni. But I'm a little bit confused because this is like not at all related to like the biggest part of her lore. So yeah, it seems that she did have some boys that were basically bullying her, and one day her rage got the best of her and she like lashed out at them. Yeah, so the problem that I have with this is that it's not related to Spirit's backstory at all, because her initial backstory was that she was kind of a goody two-shoes kid going to college, and then one day she came home and she randomly found her dad like killing her mom, and then her dad started killing her too, and she kind of like died with this like super like rage built up in her and vowing for revenge against her dad. So this, you know, archive cutscene actually completely goes against her backstory in a way, because it's like, if she could like muster up the energy and like the rage to like actually attack these guys that were bullying her, why would she not be able to like do that with her dad, you know, when he literally killed her mom? So I don't know. I actually, you know, as much as I actually like the cutscene in itself, like due to like how little it relates to her actual like backstory and how you have to specifically look at these memories to make any sense of that cutscene, like I think I'm gonna have to put that in like, I gotta put it in D. Like, unless I'm missing something here. But I just don't think it's very fitting for Spirit. It honestly kind of feels random. Like, I don't understand like where that really fits into the timeline of her lore, even after looking at the memories. Okay, so the next one that we have is Kate. Her playing in that area in the woods that she likes. Wait, what? So she hauls herself out again? Huh. So initially I thought it was gonna show the scene of like when she's playing in her favorite spot and then she just gets taken by the entity. But this seems different. This is like this memory where she sees a pulsing light in the cave and feels her mind is playing tricks on her, but she knows better, and she's always known that she could sense and feel things that others couldn't. And she's always had that ability, but she kind of feels like a memory tugging at her, but she doesn't know what's going on. So, I don't know. Like, this is in no way really related to her backstory at all. And in the backstory, I mean, it did say she was a good musician and she was really good at relating to people, but it didn't really say that she had any supernatural powers. So this is kind of coming a little bit out of nowhere, in my opinion, like even after reading all of these memories. And I feel like it would also have made more sense if it hinted that she had something like supernatural about her in her initial backstory. So, you know, it was a good cutscene, but I don't know. When I think about it as a whole with her lore and stuff, like I'm gonna have to put it in like C. Actually, I'm gonna put it in D because oh, okay, C, because at least it like, you know, shows her favorite spot and it shows her playing music, so it is relevant to her. But it's just like the events like are not really what I was expecting from a cutscene for Kate. Next one is related to Anna, so this is the Huntress. This is definitely them killing the soldiers. Oh my god, I love this one. Oh, it's not even done. Aww. Yeah, this is epic. Like, this is literally epic. Because it relates so well to the backstory. I remember from her backstory, war had eventually come through the forest and there were German soldiers coming through, and she would basically kill them and get their stuff, and she was trying to keep like all these little girls that she had kidnapped. She was trying to keep them alive, like back in the woods. And she would like bring them things, so like especially her getting like the little doll for the girls that she was keeping in the woods. It's like so perfect for her backstory. Like, this is kind of what I look for in the cutscenes. Like, I want it to be like kind of a visual representation of their backstory. So I'm gonna put that in S. That was so good. I really enjoyed that one. Dwight. Okay. The rude manager. So Dwight is drugging his boss. Dude, that was so risky. He's drinking the whatever he was drugged with. He's trying to feel weird. What the heck? Looks like demo. A bunch of demos. What the heck? He's attacking them. Dwight is like, oh my god, what have I done? Okay, See, this is interesting because this is actually directly from one of the memories, like where one of Dwight's coworkers is like, here's a laughing drug. It'll make the boss laugh and giggle a lot and it'll be really funny. So Dwight had just done it thinking like it was a harmless prank, even though there were some other people telling him it was not a good idea. But obviously it turned out to not make the boss laugh and stuff, but actually attack people. So that didn't go as expected. But, you know, I don't really like the fact that the cutscene is based on, like, this memory. Like, I, again, would have preferred if it was more based on his backstory, where they all went into the woods and, like, they were all drinking. And then Dwight woke up by himself in the woods the next morning and he was taken by the entity. I think that would have been a better cutscene for Dwight, because if you're just looking at this cutscene, like, out of context, like, it makes it seem like Dwight's the bad guy. I don't know. But Dwight was actually not the bad guy. Like, he was actually really innocent. And, you know, he was kind of getting taken advantage of by his boss. And he was like the laughing stock of everyone. So it doesn't really, like, you know, capture that part of Dwight, which is the most important, like, essence of his character, I feel like. So for that reason, I'm going to put this one in... I think I'll put it in D, because it paints Dwight as like the villain, which I really don't like, because that's so unlike his character, you know? The next one is about Legion. There's the 4. This is perfect. That was Frank that did that, right? And then he passes it and everybody stabs him. The shocked face was actually kind of funny.
Oh my god!
Oh my god, so graphic. At this point, he's dead. I don't know why the other two need to stab him. Oh, wow. Oh my god. I love that one. That's S tier for me for sure. It's like literally a visual representation of the backstory, and I love like the little detail that they added of the smile on Legion, which is like a part of the outfit. I love that one. Like I feel like I don't even need to explain why that one is so perfect. So now for Tome 4. So the first one is Lisa Sherwood, which is the hag. Huh.
Hey.
Okay, so this is not related to her backstory, so I assume it's from one of the memories. The class is at the funeral out of respect for their beloved English teacher. The pallbearers struggle and strain under the weight of the coffin. Pam leans towards Lisa and whispers how lucky she is and how unlucky the poor pallbearers have to be to lift such a heavy coffin. She suddenly feels a tug in her gut, decides to distance from her friend. Yeah, and basically her friend Pam does end up dying, and I guess Lisa just had the, you know, kind of a premonition that something bad was gonna happen to her friend. Does it actually show where she like moves away from her friend? Let's see. I don't know. There it kind of seemed like it was a reactionary like move away when she saw the coffin flying. It didn't seem like she just like randomly moved away like in advance of it happening. I feel like they could have done a better job demonstrating at least that if they're going to be basing the cutscene on this random memory that's not related to her the main, you know, events of her backstory. Because I feel like it would have been cool to see her kind of getting abducted from the forest and her like being in the basement of these people and stuff like it was, and doing her rituals, like her backstory. So I don't really like that one for that reason. Again, I'm gonna put it in like C, but I mean, it was good, but you know, at least if they recreated the scene, they could have put her moving away in advance of the coffin flying, because that's what the memory indicates, that it was more of a premonition. Because then I would have at least put it in like B. The next one is Ace.
Hey.
He is getting beat up. His tooth flew out. I guess he's trying to survive for 5 minutes in the ring with her. And he's happy that he survived. Okay, I mean, you know, this is pretty fitting for Ace's backstory, that he was kind of like, he was a gambler. He would kind of like do anything like for a good gamble, you know? So yeah, I mean, the memories directly correlate to this actual scene of him like being in this fight, and time seems to tick by really slowly, and like this woman is literally like trying to kill him and stuff. But he's like very cocky and like thinks he's gonna survive. And that's kind of like, you know, an ode to his character, because his backstory wasn't very detailed. It just said like he gambled a lot and he took a lot of risks, but he always kind of like came out okay on the other side. So, you know, just, I hate Ace and I just like hate his character, but in terms of like how well this, events relate to his backstory, I feel like I have to put it in S. Since his backstory is so like basic, I feel like this kind of does a very good job of actually visualizing like kind of what kind of gambles he used to take, and like what it means by he always came out fine on the other side, even like though he was taking a lot of risk. So the next one is Meg. Evil little smile there. So what does this mean? So I just looked at the memories a little bit, and basically what it is that other racer that it was showing, apparently her name is Dana, Dana and Meg were kind of always beefing, and then at some point some random person attacked Meg in the woods and like broke her ankle and stuff, and Meg was very convinced that Dana was behind it. And the coach was like, I'm gonna pull Dana out from the races, and Meg was like, no, I'm gonna like beat her. So she ran, even though her foot was injured. She did run, and she actually did win against her, and she felt like that was like, you know, the biggest victory against Dana, is like beating her in the race over like her just getting pulled. So it does relate to the memories, which is pretty good. And you know, I honestly can't think of much of a way that Meg's cutscene could have been a little bit better based on her initial backstory, because her initial backstory was like very, very bare bones. Like it just talked about her taking up track in school as kind of a hobby, and then her taking care of her mom and things like that. So I feel like, you know, it's not bad for them to base her particular cutscene on her memories, because her backstory was so vague. So I'm just gonna put that in like A. I mean, it's not, you know, it's, it doesn't have that wow factor that most of the ones in S do. Philip Ojomo, so this is the Wraith. I like the little spiky hair, like the Wraith. What the? Is he trying to kill them on purpose? Wait. Did I just forget this part of his backstory, or? I love that little effect of the bell. Hold on, I need to go back and see what that was. What the heck? All right, so can we just talk about this for a second? So does that mean that, so Wraith's backstory starts with Philip Ojomo came to this country without anything other than hope for a new beginning. So does that mean that before that is when all this happened? Where he actually like killed these people? What the heck? So I looked into the memories a little bit, and it basically seems like Philip used to live with his grandma, and there were these killing crews that would come through and they would make profit off of murdering people. And one of these killing crews eventually killed his grandma, but he wasn't sure which crew it was because he had accidentally fallen asleep. So like it was showing in the cutscene, like he saw these guys and he kind of assumed it was the killing crew, and he just decided to kill them. And my guess is, since he was a kid in these cutscenes, like later on he grew up and left the country to, you know, go work at Autohaven Wreckers. But the problem that I kind of have with this is that since he was already like a murderer, like when he was a kid. So like later when he got the job at Autohaven Wreckers and found out that he was like killing people when he was crushing the cars, like why was that such a shocker and like devastating to him? Like, I don't know. It just, like, it seems like he was already kind of messed up. So, you know, it doesn't hint at that at all, like in the backstory, that he had this like really such a bad past, like such a bad past. I don't know. I guess it's just a shocker to me. I didn't realize that Wraith's backstory was this messed up. I mean, it's kind of cool, but I was expecting to see the scenes of like his adult life with the car and the crusher and stuff. I'm just gonna put it in B, just because it's not really what I was expecting. I think I would have preferred to see kind of like the Autohaven Wreckers part of his life in the cutscene, but the cutscene was also well done, and I learned something new about Wraith today, so So there's that. So next we have Tome 5. And the first one that we have in Tome 5 is Talbot Grimes. So now we have the actual Blight. There's the flower again. Whoa. I guess that's how he went into like that blighted kind of state. Oh, that's so cool! Oh my god! He actually landed in DBD. What the heck? I love that, actually. I actually really like that because I feel like it rarely actually shows like people kind of coming into the DBD like realm. So I thought that was actually really cool. And I mean, you kind of like see his whole thing with the serum and everything. I'm kind of confused, like who was he seeing on those pillars around him? That part's a little unclear to me, but just let me know if you guys know. Anyways, I actually really like that one, particularly for the ending. Because I just love how he ends up like in the DBD realm. Like that's so cool. So for that reason, I'm putting him in A. I feel like it did a really good job. I'm a little bit confused about the figure, so if you guys know who that is, let me know. But I really did like Blight's archive cutscene. So the next one we have is related to Nia. Do we need to see this in this much detail? This is very fitting for her because we know that she did graffiti and stuff around the town. And tagged the mash sticks, which you see in the graffiti on the car actually. How would there already be police coming to the scene? Like, how would anyone have known that that happened? Maybe like the restaurant like called and said that he was chasing someone that had tagged his car. I don't know. So that is like very fitting for Nia. And also the fact that she wrote water is life is because the mayor of the town was involved with this deal with a beverage company where they rerouted healthy water from a lake to a bottled water facility. And then this was connected to an old river system, and then because of the factory, like there was a bunch of mercury that was basically getting dumped into the river. So all of the residents started experiencing like mercury poisoning because of this like corporate scheme basically. So that's why she wrote water is life on the mayor's car, because he was involved with that. I do like this cutscene actually. It's very fitting for Nia and it fits with the memories. So I'm gonna put this in like A tier. I don't know, it just doesn't have like the wow factor to like put it in S, but it is very fitting for Nia, so I'll stick it in A. The next one that we have is Max Thompson Jr. So this is Hillbilly. I'm actually interested to see this one. Oh my god. Oh, I feel so sad for him. It's kind of weird to see Billy getting chased. He ran out of bullets. Well then. Ew. The pigs are eating him? Would pigs do that? I don't know. So this is basically, you know, I guess when Billy runs away and the police chief runs after him, trying to get him. But if you guys remember Billy's backstory, like he was really abused, like he was kind of shut away because he was disfigured and his parents weren't accepting of that. So I do like this in a way because it kind of shows like the moment that Billy like really experiences like freedom. But I feel like in a way I would have preferred to kind of see like the initial part of his lore where it like showed him kind of like in the situation with his parents and then maybe escaping from there. I feel like that would have been a little more satisfying to see than kind of seeing this part of his story where he's like running away and, you know, everything's chasing him and then he kills the cop and stuff. But it is good. Like it is a good story and it's a good cutscene. I think I'm gonna stick this one in A as well. Because, you know, it does build up the scene a little bit with like the dogs chasing Billy and stuff and then the cop and then him finally getting this moment of like revelation that I'm not going to stand for this kind of treatment anymore. So I do like that, but I feel like it could have shown a little bit more of the backstory rather than just that scene. Now it's time for Tome 6. And the first one that we have here is Yui. Oh, he's being nice. No helmets? The heck, that's such a bad idea. She turns back. Even though she could have won the race right there, she decides to turn back to help him. Why was that guy showing her money? Does that just mean like he won?
Well, obviously.
So the interesting thing is, if you look at Yui's memories, like this is not actually what happened at any point in her life. In fact, it was kind of the opposite, where she had a teammate where someone else in the race got injured, and her teammate actually turned around to help them. And Yui was actually really mad at them for making them lose the race. But afterwards, her grandma kind of talked to her and was like, you shouldn't let your desire to win get in the way of your humanity. So Yui does have some dreams in her life where she imagines like her life as differently than what it is. So where she's a bit more, you know, like humane. So I feel like this is really interesting because, you know, this didn't actually like happen at any point, but I feel like it's like one of her alternate like dreams of like what could have happened and how she could have acted differently. So I think that's pretty cool, like, you know, the complexities of that. But again, it doesn't directly correlate to her backstory. Like, I feel like there could have been some other moments that would have kind of captured her personality and her drive a little bit better. How she inspired and motivated so many women like across the world and stuff like that. Like, I don't know, it could have been a little bit better. So I'm just gonna put it in like C, because I feel like it didn't show that at all, and like the scene that it did show like didn't even happen that way in her life. The next one is related to the nurse, Sally. But look. Oh God. It's so disturbing. What the heck? So Sally, if you guys remember from her backstory, she had this like moment where she felt like the world needed to be cleansed, and she like basically killed all of the people in the asylum. And you can see this in the memory too. There is such filth that permeates the asylum. If she is to cleanse it all, she had best begin. So I'm gonna put this in S tier because this is like really fitting for the nurse, and it's just like directly correlates to her lore. Oh my God, I'm having to shrink these things to put this many in S. Oh my God, this is like the ugliest tier list. What the heck? Okay, the next one is about the Observer. Is that him? Like his own body? Hold on, I think I gotta look at the memories for that one. I'm just looking at the comments on a video that has Tome 6 cutscenes. People are basically saying, Observer climbed a mysterious extra-dimensional tower where he found his long-dead self. 216, why am I so sure that the dead one is the Observer we know, just old? So it does seem like, why is the Observer kind of a daddy? Okay, but honestly, it does seem like I was right. It is the Observer, like seeing himself. So that one was pretty cool, I guess. But because of the confusion, like, I don't know, like, and it didn't fit in with any of the memories and stuff. that I read through in this tome, so I'm a little bit confused. I think I'm gonna put it in C because it was well done, but it was not quite fitting. Like, it was very confusing. That could just be me, but that's where I'm gonna put it. Now for Tome 7. So we have Bill. Oh god. If you play Left 4 Dead, you know that's not good. The way he runs.
What the fuck are you doing?
No, don't die. Nice. I love like the melee weapons in Left 4 Dead. I started playing Left 4 Dead 2 recently with some friends, and it's actually like really fun. So I feel like I understand the context of this cutscene a little bit better since I played that. I actually love this one because it's literally perfect for Bill. So just based on that alone, I'm putting this one in S. Like, this one was really, really good. Like, very fitting for Bill. Oh my god, my S tier is like going wild right now. There's so many things in S. I'm sorry that my tier list is like not that well made, you guys. I wasn't expecting so many things to go in S. Okay, so the next one is Plague. What the? I love the chanting. Why is she beating them up though? I'm confused. What? Okay, hold on. So it does seem to me basically like Plague, you know, felt like she was making some kind of sacrifice for the gods when she was doing this. This wasn't a part of her backstory. I guess it's a part of these memories. I'm actually quite confused about this one, honestly, because I always saw Plague as like a super like altruistic, like very kind-hearted person. So, you know, seeing this is kind of weird, honestly. I don't know. I don't like this one. I don't like this one at all. I feel like it doesn't fit Plague's character. And I was looking at some of the comments on YouTube videos where it's posted. And like people said, Plague killing someone, she doesn't even hurt a fly in her original story. I hope they don't ruin her like they did with the nurse. It wasn't straight up murder. Remember, Plague is a priestess who's very devoted to her god. If he wants sacrifices, she makes sure they get them. Though she doesn't like doing it, I think her story has been enhanced, to be honest. Her story doesn't make sense. Did you go from worshipping gods and getting infected by a horrible disease to killing innocent people? What? Yeah, I don't know. I'm a bit confused by this one. I don't know. Like, let me know if you guys understand this one. It's a little bit confusing for me. I think I'm gonna put her in I'm just gonna put that in D. I don't like it at all. It doesn't fit her character. And there were so many cooler things that it could have been. Like they could have shown her, you know, like getting infected and like running away to the caves and stuff like that. I think that would have been like a way better scenario to show than what they showed here. Next one is about the Observer again. So he's looking into some, like, memories, clearly. Kinda looks like Charlotte. Like from the twins. Not that it is, you know, but drinking blood. Huh. So I guess as he enters into these memories and like puts more pieces together, like the area that he's in keeps getting built up more. I mean, I feel like the basic idea is that, you know, the Observer kind of is in the archives looking at all these memories and old stories and trying to piece everything together in his research against the entity. So I do like that one. But, you know, I don't know. I'm not that into the Observer ones. Like, I don't know if that's just because, like, he's not a playable character or, like, why I'm not interested in it. I'm going to put that one in, like, C tier just for the hell of it. I don't know. Like, I am having trouble rating these Observer ones. Like, I just feel like I'm not as invested in the Observer cutscenes as, like, the actual killers and survivors. Tome 8. First one we have is Clown. Jeffrey Hawk. Okay. What the? Didn't that sound like Steve? Oh my god. They scream. So cartoony, it's so funny. The music. The Mori. That's a cut. I really like that one. That's so interesting how they made it so cartoony. And like the finger thing, and it kind of like put his, you know, powers in there, like the bottles and stuff. So this is actually based on the memories of the clown killing like a specific like mustached man. And you know, it mentions a lot about like the animatronics and like the playful music as like this guy is running away from the clown. So I feel like this did an awesome job of like conveying that. And I think it's like kind of perfect for clown because, you know, clowns and carnivals and stuff are like tend to be like very happy and like upbeat. So it's just like when it is a killer, like kind of having that playful music and stuff like kind of makes it even more creepy. And it definitely did include, you know, his like Mori with like the finger, and like it included his bottles and like tonics and stuff. So I'm gonna give this I think I'll put this in S because it does have like that wow factor. It's like very unique. Oh my god, this this tier list is just Going wild.
2,000 years later.
Okay, I fixed the tier list a little bit. I don't know. Okay, Jake. Jake, like, struggling to survive in the woods, which he's doing by his own choice. Yeah, I mean, this is pretty fitting for Jake. Like, he did, you know, leave his family to kind of go and live on his own. I do remember that. So, you know, because this one is fitting for Jake, I mean, it wasn't that, like, impressive, though. I mean, I kind of would have liked to see him, like, going from, like, trying to go to school to, like, eventually, you know, being like, no, I'm gonna go, like, live in the woods. So it was an okay one. I mean, there wasn't that much detail to this one or anything, so I'm just gonna put it in, like, C. Like, I wasn't that impressed by it. Next one is the Observer again, so let's prepare to be confused. I guess he's materializing in a memory of some sort. Oh wow, that looks like the Harry Potter spider. Aragog? So the scene that he saw was from like a book? So I looked into this a little bit more online about what people are thinking about the Observer cutscene. And people are actually saying that the survivor in the scene is Evan, like the trapper. So maybe, you know, he was a survivor before and then he became a killer. Like, that's just a theory that some people have. Honestly, it's like kind of impossible to tell. But, you know, the fact that it's like in a book, which is supposed to hold the memories of people from the trials, like, does make me think that this could be Evan. But again, that is a theory that I am not very sure about, because these Observer ones are kind of like open to interpretation, I feel like. And there's a lot of complexities in this Observer one. So, you know, that one was cool though. Like, I liked the spider. I mean, that could be like a really cool killer in the future. If they ever did do that. I know like some people were saying that in the Tome comments as well. I think I'll put that in B because I just find that one like really interesting. Like, and especially if it possibly has a connection to Trapper, I feel like that makes it even cooler. So now for Tome 9. First one is about the Trickster, Ji-woon Hunt.
Yes.
I love how he's laughing while he's getting beat up. Huh. So basically what happened is that Yunjin was like suspecting Trickster of murdering people, so she had started keeping a really close eye on him and like monitoring all his movements. So when he went to kill this like one particular guy, like he was kind of getting messy because he was stressed about her like following him and stuff. So in order to kind of hide his tracks, he actually called her and was like, "You need to help me." And then he tried to make it seem like, you know, that guy was actually killing him instead of he was killing that guy. And Yunjin came to the scene with help. So though I do like this memory and like this video, I don't like really like it that much because it's a little bit like confusing, and you also have to like read all of this lore to kind of figure out like what he was doing there. Whereas I feel like Trickster has such a like a rich lore like and a backstory, like even without these memories. Like they could have easily shown like the scene of him kind of like letting his teammates die like in the fire. I feel like that would have been a way cooler thing to like watch, like to see him doing that and then like slowly becoming a star rather than this like random like scene of, you know, him like kind of getting messy with his kills and stuff. It just like isn't very fitting for his character, I feel like. Like, I don't know, it just doesn't fit him very well, so I'm gonna put it in D. I just don't like this one at all. Next one is Yunjin. Maybe it's her perspective? Let's see. Yeah, this is definitely her perspective of that scene. Okay, and that was a cop showing up. But she does see that it's his blade, so she's suspicious. Okay, that is really cool. That one I actually really like. That adds some of the clarity that I was missing earlier. So basically she called the cops because she got this text from Jiwoon that he's in trouble. She goes to like save him. The cop shows up, shoots the guy who Jiwoon was actually trying to kill. And now I think like when she saw his blade though, she kind of has the suspicion that maybe it wasn't actually what he's painting it to be. I love that one. Like it shows her suspecting and it shows like exactly what happened, and it like covers any confusion that there is like from the previous clip of just Jiwoon. So I'm definitely gonna put that one in S. So one more cutscene. Oh my god, I feel like I've been filming this video for so long. This is all so like interesting to me though. And I haven't even like looked at everything that there is to look at. Like there is a ton of information about like the Observer especially. Back to this tower. I feel like that's always featured in the Observer videos. Oh, he's actually leaving it. Oh, the spiders again. Okay, so I guess he's kind of like having to fight like some of the things that people have fought in the past. because that was like kind of based on the same spider that was in the previous cutscene for the Observer. So here I feel like it kind of explains what's going on. Like it said, he ventured into the Terra Arachna in the last realm that he visited, which we saw in the previous cutscene, I think, and he witnessed the fall of a world to massive spider-like creatures, and he didn't want these getting into the tower, so he made the realm disappear. But he kept hearing something outside, and he goes outside, and I feel like the video that we just saw was like he sees that all of these things from the Terra Arachna spider realm has come to the tower. So I feel like some of these memories and stuff that he's visiting has like the potential to bleed into like the realm that he's in. At least that's kind of the understanding that I'm getting, which is really interesting. So that's a pretty cool concept. I think I'm gonna put it in like the same like B. Just it is like a cool concept, but again, like these Observer ones are just like not really that interesting to me specifically. But that finally concludes all of the archive cutscenes as far as I know. I went through like the DBD wiki, and that's where I got all of these Tome cutscenes from. Let me know of your thoughts on these cutscenes. Have you like watched all of these? Do you think it really adds to the backstory and lore of the survivors, or do you find them like a little bit confusing sometimes, like I found some of them? Remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoy my content. I hope you guys are having a great day, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.